We do a huge amount of things in Sitech. I'm really going to show you today the things that we think are more relevant for you inside of quarrying and the quarrying industry. But you know, we've got a stand just over near the bar over there. Come and ask us if you want to know anything on a little bit more detail. So we've seen this on a couple of other presentations, but it is, you know, it's revolutionising the connected site, and it's providing connected services. Sorry, I need to move to the side. Providing connected services via the Trimble connected community, and we're doing two-way data here, so we're passing it backwards and forwards. It's not just about the asset. It's doing two-way communication between the office, the asset, the operators, the surveyors, the on-site surveyors, the operational managers, and that's really what this is showing. We can do it in various ways. You can have wireless data. We do this via VRS, base stations. So VRS means you can get correct real-time corrections rather than needing a base station if you're looking at something that's a little bit more mobile. And then we have remote assistant, which means that we're able to take over your controllers and look at problems. And also that is something that's available for the on-site manager to do. It's not just about the hardware. As you can see across the bottom, from a Sitech point of view, we're involved right from the beginning. We do feasibility and mapping, we do planning, we do surveying, we've got design, we do data prep. You can see that we're there across the whole of the function. And as I say, this is not just about the services and the workflow. It's not just the hardware. It's the whole process. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is bring the whole thing together, and it's a tool that does that for you. And we're taking the field data and wirelessly sending it back to the office, to the operator, from the operator and the machine back to the office. Any changes to the data models, we can then feed back through, and immediately it's live and it's back on with the operator. So one of the areas that you've seen, we've got a banner for that just over outside there, is site positioning. The industry is changing. We're trying to help change. The technology allows the customer to take GPS and get correct accuracy, and what we're showing here is how this could benefit you in the quarrying industry. Surveying equipment, you can do stakeouts, you can do measure as-built, it's establishing and checking control, and GPS site calibrations, design verification, cut and fill determination. You can continually therefore get updates and progress checks, and therefore can start to see how your volumes have moved, where you've got to, what you've done. And I think one of the things that we really see there's a huge benefit for is stockpile and excavation volumes, particularly on site. How many of you still do manual stock counting, stockpiles? Anybody? No. It's something that we hear a lot, that, you know, people are still, the surveyor's still walking out with somebody else on site and measuring that manually. What this can do is we can progress volume. So we're showing here on site the machine, the SPS 930, actually measuring the stockpile. Oh, sorry. And then we can show how, when that's come through, the stockpile and the volume and how it's done that. So, you know, a huge amount of safety, again, we're saving having surveyors and people clambering up on a stockpile and measuring it. Accuracy, stock losses, how many, again, see stock losses, stock gain, stock loss, stock gain, stock loss. So somebody's nodding his head there, I'm glad to see. Because we know that that's something, you know, and any of these systems can do that for you without the need to take 2 or 3 people off site to do that measuring. We can do that immediately. Correct accuracy, you can do that then as quickly and as many times as you like to feel comfortable that you know what your stockpiles are. The other side of it is, again, revolutionising revolutionising, but we're saying this is about machine control. And this is now where we take the machine and we're connecting that. So this is 3D control on excavators, dozers, we do it on compactors, skid steers, graders, and it gives complex designs. We're now formulating that, so we can take a 2D model, we can make it into a 3D model, feed that into the system, feed it into the operator, control box inside, which I'll show you a couple of pictures of that next. Haul road grades, measurements, so really tying into some, if anybody was in the presentation that Mick did from the Finning Managed Services side of it, you know, again, this is another element of that, how we feed in. Bench levels, drainage, again, removing the need to stake out, so you're taking the need to have an operator or a surveyor on side, you're saving costs. You know, we see that particularly in construction, just the ability to not need to stake out and the battening at the side, huge cost saving, and we're minimising the rework. So how do we do it? Well, we do this with GCS 900, with the software that makes this happen. That's with a control box that sits in the cab. The operator can see where they are in relation to the design, which you can see on the box here, and that they're working to. They can see if they're within the accuracy of the design that's put into the system. Again, this is how the control box here that you can see, this is, I need to stop moving from the microphone, sorry. So this is the control box that sits in the cab. That's how he would see it, and this is, if you take it to elevation, you can see where he's moving to the design. And then you can see, again, in another format, obviously along the left-hand side is the cut and fill, and depending on the colour is whether you're in design, you need to, you know, change your cut or your grade or whatever it might be that you're doing. But if you see that it's in green, he's comfortable, he's within design. Again, anything that we then need to do to change that, if we're feeling that, you know, there is a change to the design, we can connect back to the office, back in, without the need for the surveyor, the operator, whoever it might be, the office, the site manager coming off site into the operator. They can do that all from off site. So if you look at some of the videos that we've got rolling on our screen over there, you'll see that, you know, one of the testimonials is a customer that's saying he used to move from site to site, manages 10 sites, and the majority of his day was travelling around from site to site. He can do all of that now within a day, just sat at his office, uploading new models if there's a variation to design. This is another part that we use, which is signals in the system, avoidance areas. So again, warnings, you might have geofences that we can put in, and if you're looking for that to make sure that you're particularly in a quarry, and again, I'll show some other slides, if you've got particular dump areas that people are not actually moving in and out of the wrong and going into avoidance. It could be safety reasons, actually. You could be that there's an unsafe area. There's all sorts of things for warning systems. So what we get is if the driver moves into an avoidance zone, then we get a flashing icon on the screen that you can see there, highlighting in pink that it's an alarm that he's gone into an area, and it's a sound inside of the cab that tells him he's in a warning, he's in an avoidance zone. If the machine driver carries on, the icon continues and becomes a large warning message. Depending on the area, as I say, the machine has entered, you know, that could be that it's just you're dumping where we don't actually want you to, but it could be a genuine health and safety reason, operator risk. Could be damage to the machine, could be going somewhere where, you know, that could create a problem, and can avoid lots of penalties, particularly in the construction industry. You know, if you're driving into areas or you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, penalties can be incurred or safety reasons. So again, we're just trying to explain how not only are we improving productivity, we're also looking at a huge amount for safety. The next thing that we think is very relevant to this industry is drilling and piling. DPS 900 is our product. It's used on drilling rigs or piling machines. It's designed for any mixed fleet operation. So interestingly, when we heard Oliver from Barrett's talking about that yesterday, and something that JCB were able to fit onto their machines, you know, this is exactly the same. I'm not quite sure what they were talking about, but, you know, we fit this on any product. So we are not we do not have an alliance to any particular manufacturer. We can fit our product on any manufacturing equipment. Turnkey solution in the field, office workflows, applications are for rock and quarry, open pit and mining. It's designed for ease of use, as I say, with any OEM. Again, there's a cab camera, an avoidance zone displayed on the screen. We can see increased productivity, reducing surveying work. Drilling output is faster through navigation and drilling process. We can reduce over or under drilling through automatic depth, stop, improve bench quality. We could go on and on and on. We won't carry on. But, you know, again, if you're looking for something in detail for this, we can give you more detail on that. But we think it's something that is hugely beneficial in the market, and it's actually not being taken up too well at the moment. But, you know, a massive benefit. Aftermarket installation as well, and again, over-the-air file transmission. So all in the connected worksite once again. The next thing is VisionLink, and something that we have on both sides, from a Sitech, from a Finning, from a Caterpillar. It's website-based, enabled by the telematics hardware that's in the systems. It shows the location, health, utilisation, management and monitoring solutions, so you can see where your fleets are, where your assets are, site productivity, equipment health and utilisation, as I mentioned. You can see where they're moving, where they're idling, ties back into, you know, the whole managed solution. Mixed fleets, again, we're not tied to any manufacturer, although we work well, obviously, with CAT, but we do have any manufacturer. You can be in different locations. It gives you all sorts of monitoring to determine whether you are. We're looking at things for certain customers at the moment. So are you in areas where you need to be avoiding? You can only travel down roads at certain times due to public restraints, times, areas, roads, anything like that. Again, it can be mobile, and we're trying to show that here. You can have this on your mobile. You can be looking at that where you're there on the fields, Android or Apple. So this is just trying to show an example for a quarry. The quarry is making bricks, one quarry, one dump, two stockpiles, and that's what we're just showing here. And you can see the vehicle, one for red and one for yellow clay. We have the truck, and we start the truck, it enters its load zone. The truck is now a candidate for a load event, and we're showing the site. There's the load, there's the quarry face into the crusher, the haul road of 3.5 kilometres. We now let the truck stop for more than 3 seconds. It can be picked up. Sorry, this should have been moving. But what we're saying, this is transmitting to VisionLink. Again, mobile, can be on your site, can be on your site mobile. The quarry, the truck is now, it's at the loader face, it's now being loaded. Sorry, it's gone back the wrong way now. So VisionLink now correlates who loaded the truck. The device sends that to the sorry, this hasn't worked quite as we'd hoped. But what we're showing is how the vehicle is moving. It goes along the haul road. It comes into the crusher. We're picking up the information from the the machine, how many hours it's done, how many kilometres. It then comes back. We're transmitting. It's dumped, it's loaded, it's dropped, it's dumped its load. We now have a complete load. The time of the load, the time of the dump, the area that it was placed, the position. We could track the material flow and the movement, the lifetime at each event, and the load distance. Feeding all this back through an S&M, which is a modem that we have inside of the vehicle. We're getting the position and the time. We should be seeing it move back, sorry. IT, technology, it's not very good for us. And as the truck returns, we have the same rule applies. And we can see, again, we've now done a full complete cycle. The time of the load and the dump again for the return and the next load. Total cycle time, total cycle distance. And we're able to see the efficiencies, and we're measuring that all the time. All live data. And then again, through VisionLink, as we mentioned, then we have the dashboards. So what we're showing is, here, dashboards that we're showing to the customer. Sorry, I'm doing it again. That we can let them see efficiencies, load times, dump times, whether in the areas, whether in the control zones, whether they're doing it in the time that we were expecting. And what we get from this is we can improve the project, increase and decrease the number of trucks, again, in line with what was being talked about from the finning side. As a result of that, you can start to look at the optimisation of the number of equipment that you need, who's performing, who's idling, which operators need training potentially, the number of trucks you need, any loading tools that might be required, any changes to the operation. So, to round that up, hope that we've shown that we have a lot of productivity solutions, very relevant to the industry. We're resolving complex issues and resulting in huge improvements on safety, productivity, which means profitability, which I think we saw as all of the things for the 2025 and the targets that are being put out there. We're around, and we're just down at a stand further down. If anybody's got any questions for us, that's where we are. Thank you.